Pork and beans. Oh man, bacon is so good. There we go. This doesn't care anymore. It's completely let go and given up. It's like, it's I'm done. What do you want, Squeaky? There we go. Uh-oh. Error. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. Well, it's not my fault. Squeaky, you want to take a chill pill? Squeaky wants to come up. All right, let's go. All right, baby, big baby. I gotta hang out up here. You know, I'm busy. You know, I'm working here. No, I'm gonna be on the live stream with Daddy. Yeah. Big fluffy bucket. We need a drink. Okay. We are doing a live stream. He's gonna go sit over there. You got camera shy all of a sudden. Hello. What's up, Fred? How you doing, man? Ebony, hello. Yeah. You caught the live stream. You're at the beginning of the live stream too. Well done. It's better to catch it at the beginning and listen to all 2 riveting hours of it than catch it at the end. And then you miss out. It's just not the same when you watch the replay. Yeah. Ultimate April Fool's prank. Set up a live stream, tell people you'll live stream 2 days before, and then don't show up. Yeah, but like, usually when people like me do April Fool's pranks, it's to like, we have ulterior motives. Like we're trying to get attention usually, somehow. And if I were to, I don't know how much attention I would get doing that. Ebony is literally rolling a D&D character right now. Sweet. Joining a campaign on Wednesday. Awesome. Yeah, I know. You got to come up here too. Okay. Sweet. Oh, thank you, Ebony, for becoming a member. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Okay. Here we go. Oh, we got an overland travel question for Pathfinder 2nd edition. My dog is ping-ponging. She's below me at my feet. She's ping-ponging around. We should just bring her up onto the screen. We should probably just go full camera here. Quit rubbing your nose against the camera. All right, come here, doggy dog. Come here, come here. Oh, yeah, get the doggy up here. Oh, get the doggy too. I'm on the live stream. You're on the live stream. Oh, yeah. You see everybody? No, because I'm blind. Yeah, I don't know anything. Hi, kitty. I love the kitty. Zoe. This is Zoe. She's our chihuahua. She can't see anything, but she's adorable. She just ping-pongs around the house, wanders around. She just had dinner, which probably got her all excited, and now she's just wandering all over the place. So, isn't that right, Zoe?
That's right. I'm a good doggy. I'm a good doggy. Hello.
All right. Why did our tip goal not reset? Dude, we hit our charity donation goal yesterday. Not yesterday. Saturday. We were raising money for Canines for Warriors. We hit our goal. We destroyed our goal. We were trying to raise 500 and we hit 775. And this little tip goal thing, I reset it and it's supposed to be down to 0, but it's still showing as filled because we have a new charity today. We're raising money for the City Rescue Mission of Lansing. They're a homeless shelter that I personally support them every month. And so now we're going to try to raise some extra money for them. today and the next live stream and stuff. But all right, Zoe, have you had enough time on camera?
I don't like cameras.
You don't like cameras?
No.
All right, well, we're gonna put you down now.
I want to go back to my spot.
You wanna go back to your spot?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's your spot. That's my spot.
Of course, I got dog hair on me, white dog hair on a black shirt. That's not the good way to do it, because I'm smart. I should stain my dog's hair black. That way, when I get dog hair on my shirt, you won't notice it. I don't know if that's the best idea I've ever had, but it's probably worth considering. Oh, what a squishy dog. Oh, she's squishy. What does that mean? Oh, because she's small and doesn't have a lot of hit points? Oh, okay, I gotcha. All right, so live stream tonight. We're doing Q&A. You guys can drop your questions in the chat. Just throw them in there. We'll get to them and stuff. It'll be fun. We are just doing that. And oh yeah, we gotta just talk about some sleazy plug stuff. So first thing, we have a new charity that we're raising money for, as I just got done mentioning, because we destroyed our goal. And when I say we, I mean you, all of you who donated toward Canines for Warriors, helped us destroy our goal. So that is super, super sweet. And now we're gonna raise money for the City Rescue Mission of Lansing. Let's go to their site. There we go. These guys right here, City Rescue Mission of Lansing, they're a homeless shelter here in the city where I live. And they have like, I think they have close to 200 beds that helps provide for people every single night. And they recently bought, I get their newsletter every month because I personally support them, like with my own personal funds and stuff. And so their last newsletter, they purchased 2 more buildings on the block so they can expand like what they're doing and stuff and help more people. So anyway, we're trying to raise money for them. Our goal is going to be $500. Our goal is always $500. So if you want to help support the City Rescue Mission of Lansing, help support homeless people, get some food and get a place to sleep at night, then feel free to do so via tipping. There's a link down in the chat where you can tip. I also have a link directly to their site as well if you want to go learn more about them, or if you just want to donate directly, that's 100% totally cool as well. As long as we raise money for them, that is the important thing. So there we go. I was reading in the newsletter that I get, like I got the newsletter a few days ago, and I was reading the story about a young mother who showed up with her 2 young kids and they had no place to stay. And this City Rescue Mission helped them out. And they couldn't share a whole lot about it, probably because of like, it's personal information and stuff. But it's little stories like that, of people who just need help, and you got 2 young kids and you're desperate and you got nowhere to go. And there's places like this that help people out when they need it. So we are raising money to help them. All right. And so that is our charity. You're gonna bite me? I want you to pet me. I was, and you're biting me. Oh yeah, that's right. You butthead. We gotta do our patron shout outs. Okay, will you let me do my live stream? Holy mackerel. I want mackerel. Look at him bite me. You guys see me bite me. It's on live stream, it's recorded. I now have video evidence of you trying to kill me. Put you in jail. You're not gonna get any tuna fish in jail. All right, what am I doing? Patrons. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. I gotta take a drink of coffee. Oh. Holy mackerel. Dog is running into the wall. All right, ladies and gentlemen. All the wonderful people you see on screen right here are GM Lair patrons. They're amazing. They help support all the work we do around here, such as these live streams, the videos I create, all of the free resources you can get over on the dmlair.com. These folks are amazing. They also get additional perks, and the big perk they get is Lair Magazine. Every single month they get a big, huge, fat tome of usually over over 50 pages of 5th edition and Pathfinder 2 resources to use in their games. We publish adventures, we do traps, we do puzzles. Puzzles are super awesome to have handy. Well designed, written out puzzles that you can actually use, and it's not just a riddle, or isn't just If you do this wrong, monsters attack you. That's not a puzzle. That's an encounter. But anyway, we publish a whole bunch of cool resources for Game Masters for our patrons, and they get it every single month. In fact, our next release is going to come out this Thursday for patrons. They're going to be getting a whole bunch of cool stuff. Will you? I'm gonna pound on you. Stop trying to bite me. This cat's out of control. So thank you, patrons. The cat doesn't even give me money, and he's biting me. I mean, he should. You should reimburse me for all the food I give you, punk. I'm gonna fight with my cat the whole life. I'm gonna fluff you up. Oh yeah. You turd. Now he's gonna run my camera now. Okay, these patrons here support us at a higher level, so they get their names read out loud. Thank you very much. Here we go. Oh, I gotta get my other special. I got a little screen that I pull up that helps me read it better because I'm old apparently. Aaron H, Agile M, Alex S, Alexander O, Alithana, Alan D, Amanda W, Ambers, Angelique K, Anton K, Art Soccer, Ashley, Alucas, Beavis Con, Bees in Space, Ben B, Black Wolf, Bradley H, Brendan P, Brian D, Brian O, Brian the Lion, Brian J, Carl C, Chaotic Wolf, Christine E, Christine B, Christopher G, Clay W, Colette H, Colin W, Connor D, Contrary Gravy, Corey A, Courtney H, Kwan B, Dorothy, Dazzled Up, David S, Del Wolf, Dalen W, Dean B, Derek E, Dice Goblin Wannabe, Don D, Draxus, Dungeon of Terra, Ed R, Edward B, Edward L, and Frabo, and Dorian 72, Eric B, Philippe H, Phillips, probably Philip. Sorry, Philip. He's like, I'm done. I'm not your patron anymore, buddy. Gabriel T, Gene A, Gene W, George E, George R, Greg P, Guapo, Gubin, GVTM, Heart U, HLD, Important, Iron Cascade. I did not spell Important's name wrong. That's literally how it's spelled. That's what they put. So that's what I do. Jackie Pizza, Jacob H, Jacob K, James L, Jeff S, Jeremy W, Jarig, Jim P, Joanne P, Joel J, John, John A, John B, John D, John the Wicked, John Piganos, Jonathan F, Jonathan H, Jonathan S, Jonathan V, Jordan A, Jose B, Joseph H, Joseph W, Josh M, Josh S, Juan, Justin J, Kevin W, Killsaber K, Kirby, Laura L, Laser VH. That's too much. You should get 2 syllables in your name. More than that is too hard for me. Letter Mage, Lanehart, Linda, Loki, Lord H, Lieberclaw, Matlock, Macy S, Mama D, Marcel V, Marcus, Martin E, Master Nude, Matthew C, Meepy, Michael S, Michelangelo, Mika J, Mirostal, Mitch, Mo20s, Mordakin, Morganth, Morve, Nicholas S, Nick H, Neerith, Nostromo, Old Man Mage, Oleg, Patrick D, Paul C, Paul C, Paul S, Pethnick, Pivo, Porkchop Bacon, Puppet Master, Randall C, Randy B, Rebar, Renner C, Richard M, Robert C, Robin B, Roll for Combat, Rope L, Ross A, Ryan, Saul R, Sakura, Samantha J, Sarah J, Sarah P, Scott R, Sergio M, Shadows, Sean L, Sean the Ice, Simfan, Soul Naya, Stephen T, Steve S, Sturm, T Warner, Tabletop, Nerd, Tyler, Therese T, Terry V, the Diabolical DM, the Jackal, the Dice Dragon, the Fuzzle, the New Bed, Ombre, Thomas F, Thor, T, J, Q, TK, Tom B, Tom T, Travels T, Trinity S, Tyler D, Tyler R, Valagor, Victoria Q, Vladimir S, Volhoff, Valis, Wesley K, William C, XX Red Drum, Zombie Trami. Wee. Okay, there we go. Thank you very much. All right. Okay, the dog wants to go outside apparently. She's clawing at me. Oh, well, guess what? Daddy's not taking you outside. You're just gonna have to hold it. I gotta take a dump. You're gonna hold it. Look at this. They're watching you. Don't even think about pooping. Like they're right there. I gotta go. You're not going anywhere. Okay, the dog. I gotta tell my wife to take the dog out. Or she can hold it. Marcito, aquí saca el perro. I'm sick if my wife can do it because I can't. Aquí está. Venga. can't. Dog is like, I took the dog out all the time. The dog went out before the live stream. The dog, and then the dog's got to go, of course. So anyway, my wife's taking the doggy outside. And okay, so we're gonna get into questions. And the one last thing we got to mention is that tomorrow is the big day. Tomorrow, our Lairs Legends 2 Kickstarter launches. Right here, you can see these are the standard covers, and the one that was showing first are the alt covers. So there should be a link down in the chat. There's one in the description where you can go follow the project. It is launching tomorrow, Tuesday, April 2nd at 12 p.m. Eastern time. That's 9 a.m. Pacific. So this thing is going to be awesome. We're giving you 2 big, huge, massive books. The first book, Lairs Legends, is just adventures. Over 30 adventures for 5th edition that you can use in your games. It's just stuffed with adventures. It's gonna be close to 400 pages long. That's it, 30 adventures. Imagine an anthology book with 30 adventures. It's a big, beefy boy. It's a lot of stuff. It spans levels 1 to 22. So there's something in there for every single level. I think we have most of the levels, not all of them obviously, but most of the levels have 2 adventures. Obviously there's only 30 so adventures, so not all of them have 2, but they're pretty close. It's like at least half of them, if not a little bit more, have 2 adventures for each level. So anyway, lots of adventures in there. And then the other book, Loot and Lore 2, is going to have a bunch of other monsters, over 100 monsters, traps, puzzles, standalone encounters, new rule sets, just cool crap in there for folks to help them in their games as well. So this is the definitive 5th edition anthology resource for game masters. That's like our special, like, cool term that we're calling it. So anyway, this thing launches tomorrow, and we're going to have really, really cool early backers specials going on for the first 72 hours. But on day 1, if you back on day 1, you get your name in both books. This is a day 1 benefit only. There's no other way to get your name in the books. Back on day 1, get your name in both books. So it's the little credit thing. Yeah, I know. You're just upset too. Everybody's upset today. Woo! Yeah. We also have, you're also going to get, if you back within the first 72 hours, which is also day 1, you will get 36 digital adventures for free, 36 free adventures, and you're going to get the wallpaper and art pack. My cats are squabbling. And then you're also going to get special pricing on the alt covers. So if you want to save some money on the alt covers right there on screen, those things right there, we're going to have special prices for the first 3 days, first 72 hours. So obviously we're trying to incentivize people to back early, because that's just the thing you got to do with Kickstarters, because algorithm and momentum and everything help determine how well your Kickstarter does. So this is why early backers get special deals, because we have to play the game. Otherwise we lose the game. What can I say? So anyway, there you go. Get cool crap. You get cool crap thanks to how Kickstarter's algorithm works. All right, sweet. Let us do the Q&A. And okay, it looks like we got a couple tips already for our charity. Imfrabo, thank you for the $25 tip for the City Rescue Mission of Lansing. I appreciate that. And then Ebony Mick, I can't say your name, you got some adult language there, but Ebony McDonald Mick something donated $5 as well for City Rescue Mission of Lansing to help the homeless. Thank you so much. This is our charity right here at the City Rescue Mission of Lansing that we're trying to raise money for. So if you want to donate, feel free to do so. You can do it by tipping, or you can go directly to their site and then just give them directly. Either way is great. Our goal is $500. Oh, it looks like it's updated. You can see our goal right there. Right there is our goal bar. Our goal is $500, and we are $30 towards it. Yeah, let's keep going. All right, sweet. Questions. Do I have the dog back? I got the dog back. I got the doggy back. E hizo algo. Solo hizo pipí. Nada más. Ese perro. All right. The dog did not do the pooping, only did the peeing. I hope she's behaving herself down there. Anyway, she has a diaper on for a reason, because she literally pooped on one of our live streams. So now she wears a diaper. Yay! She literally took a crap on a live stream live. And then I cleaned it up live. All right, let's do. Where was this question? Okay, Renegade Spider says, first question, how would you handle overland travel in Pathfinder 2? I want to make it better than roll dice random encounter type style. After a bit, that gets boring to everyone. It gets so boring and it's dumb. It's the lazy man's way of doing overland travel. It really is. So the way you do it in Pathfinder 2 does not. The way that I implement overland travel, encounters, and points of interest, which is a hint at what the answer is going to be, is the same regardless of the game system. It doesn't matter if I'm running 5th edition, it doesn't matter if I'm running Pathfinder 2, if I'm running DCC, or like Shadow Dark, or Castles and Crusades, like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what game I'm running. I would implement encounters and stuff during overland travel the exact same way, and that's going to be with points of interest. And it's going to be a combination of points of interest and random encounters. But I don't do random encounters. All of it. If I don't have enough time to prep for my game and I'm desperate, I'll use random encounter tables. But if I prep properly for my games, I don't use random encounter tables. Whenever my players run into random encounters, they are planned encounters. They're things that I planned on happening. Usually it's a cool monster that I just want to use, but it doesn't fit into the established campaign very well, so it becomes a random encounter, which is a planned encounter. But that's only a portion of what happens during overland travel. The other thing that happens during overland travel is points of interest. Points of interest are things, my dog's freaking out. Points of interest are things that I place in the game for players when they're traveling from point A to point B to encounter. For instance, in the game that I ran on Saturday with my patrons, oh, this is cool. So I have this point of interest. I'm just gonna pull up the document and show you the point of interest. I ran this for my patrons on Saturday. Which by the way, if you're interested in playing D&D with me, I run a game for patrons, and we probably have a link to my Patreon somewhere for you. There is a reserve tier. The game is currently full, but we have a reserve tier that you can join up for and then get in line basically to play. It's called Ancient Dragon Reserve is the name of the tier if you want to join it. But let me pull up the document for you. I gotta go find it really quick. I wasn't planning on showing you this, but I'm gonna show you an example point of interest that I recently used in my game to give you an idea of the types of points of interest. And I probably can show you, well, no, one of my patrons at least is here as a moderator, so I probably can't show you anything else. But I'll show you the one that they literally already encountered. That way I'm not spoiling anything for him. I gotta find it. Ancient Dragon Campaign, and then the Dark Shards, and then Confronting Tirth. All right, let me pull this up. And I gotta get this finagled on my screen to make sure that I'm not showing anything that I shouldn't be showing. Spoilers, basically. Okay, so they're in Waterdeep. Waterdeep is in ruins because bad stuff happened to it. Monsters came up from Undermountain and did some horrible things. And the point of interest, I'm trying to get this finagled on my screen. Okay, cool. So this is the point of interest that they ran across on Saturday. It is called the Motivar Bazaar. And so basically none of that existed. I added that as we went. But this is the point of interest. Basically, hidden in the heart of Field Ward, the Motivar Bazaar thrives as a bustling marketplace for creatures emerging from Undermountain. And basically, it's just a monstrous marketplace where you can buy a whole bunch of cool stuff. And my players are all level 20, and so they have had tons of money on hand. They were stuck away in a domain of dread called the Dark Shards for some time, and had no opportunity to use all of the gold they were accumulating. So when they came back finally to Waterdeep, I put this bazaar here with the thought of, hey, this will give them a chance to spend some money, right? So this is called a point of interest, right? And so they came to this bazaar and they started exploring around, and they ended up buying a whole bunch of cool magic items. I think they still have a lot of money left though. But my point is this point of interest, this is all I wrote for it. This didn't exist. I literally had, oops, don't show that. I literally had, this is what I wrote up for it. That's it. That was the point of interest. And then this stuff right here, as we were actually in the bazaar, I was making stuff up. I was improvising, right? Because, you know, half of your game is improvising. And so one of the very first things, can anybody guess what the rogue tried to do first? Somebody put it in chat. I know you guys are smart. What did the rogue attempt to do at the very first vendor that they were at? Can anybody guess? Can anybody guess what the rogue, he was actually a rouge, but can anybody guess what he tried to do? Put it in chat. Let me know what the rogue did. I know you guys know. Pay the rightfully owed amount. Yeah, you know, you're close. You're close. Pickpocket. He bought items like any sane person. Pickpocket. Give the merchant a tip. Yes, give the merchant a tip. So it seems like you pretty much all know the answer. Steal everything not nailed down. Oh, he totally tried to, he literally stole something. He literally stole something. So here's the thing. When you have an ordinary shop, right, with ordinary items in it, mundane stuff, it's not gonna, I mean, you might have some guards that protect it, but whatever. But when you have a bazaar, a marketplace that is filled with, we're talking legendary magic items are available. Like crazy powerful stuff is available. The only way that you have crazy powerful stuff like that available and it doesn't all just get like attacked or stolen in short order is when you have really good security, amazing good security. Like that's the only way it exists. Otherwise it would already be gone and have been stolen from before the group ever got there. And so of course, this guy goes to steal and I'm like, oh, okay, here we go. I gotta add some security. All right, so then I'm like, all right, cool. I decided that there was a cabal of mind flayers that runs the bazaar. And they're the ones that keep the peace and make sure that everyone can trade without fear of stealing from. And of course, they're mind flayers. They're super powerful. They have magic and mental crap going on. And so they have ways in place, things that are in place to automatically detect when anything is stolen, anything. Like if you steal, if it's not paid for, boom. And you know, and then the price has to be super drastic and severe. It's like, you know, dismemberment and torture and just horrible stuff, right? And so he got caught stealing and we had a little scene there, you know, where he was, his bacon was in the frying pan for a little bit there. And there were 5 mind flayers that descended down. Now, they're level 20, but I'm gonna tell you something. A mind flayer is no joke. And if you get 5 mental blasts from a mind flayer, it's like a DC, it's a high DC, it's an intelligence saving throw, which most people are bad at least a couple of the players are gonna fail it and they're gonna be stunned completely out of the combat. And then bad stuff's gonna happen. Bad stuff's gonna happen very, very fast. So, and then they have like, I think mind flayers have dominate person. There's a barbarian in the party who gets dominated. Whenever an enemy has that spell, he's dominated and he's attacking his friends. So it's not gonna be pretty. So they sweet talked their way out of it and figured out a way to not get in big trouble. But my point, I guess that's like a side tangent or whatever, a story from a game. But my point is that before the game began, I developed several points of interest for the different wards of Waterdeep, so that as the group is traveling through these wards, they're going to encounter these points of interest, and this was one of them. And this is overland travel. They were in a city, they're going from one place to another in the city. I developed a point of interest. And so what I'm saying is that when you have overland travel in your games, this is the same sort of thing you do. You develop a point of interest. Now, my recommendation for you is to develop 1 point of interest in anytime they're going to travel between 2 places, have a point of interest for them to find. Just 1 point of interest. It can be something cool. It can be an old ruins. It might be a hole in the ground that leads somewhere. You know, you might have like a meteor fall down and crash like a few miles off the path. You know, now the players might go into the hole in the ground. They might not. They might explore the ruins. They might not. They might go explore the meteorite that crashed. They might not. You don't know. You just introduce this scene, this point of interest, something that happened, right? And then now, in this case, the case of this bazaar that I introduced to my players, I told them about the point of interest, and they were on the precipice of not even going there. They might, because they had a goal in mind, and they were like, well, should we take this tangent to go investigate this thing? That the game master obviously put a little bit of a plot hook there, but the plot hook seemed like a tangent from their actual mission. And so there was a point where I was like, they might not even go down to check out the bazaar or not. I don't know. So they ended up doing it, right? I think it was probably an instance of good metagaming where they knew that there was something cool there or something was there that the game master created. So maybe we should just go check it out because it might be cool or whatever. It's part of the game, so let's do it. So I don't know. But anyway, they went and checked it out. But your players may not bite your points of interest, which is why I would recommend making the points of interest succinct and brief. Don't write 2 pages out for a bazaar that your players may not even go to. You want to write out a few sentences, some bullet points, call it a day. And then if they actually go there, then you improvise and you make stuff up. So we're talking about, reducing your prep time a little bit, making things easier for you to prep your game. And then if they actually go there, then during the game, you kind of improvise a little bit and do some stuff, So that is what I would recommend for overland travel to spice it up. Have a point of interest anytime they go from point A to point B. And also, there's nothing wrong with an encounter, right? I love encounters. Most of the time my players travel from point A to point B, they get an encounter too. But I usually handpick them, and they're always combat. They might be like something that's optionally combat, or it might just be combat. I don't know. Sometimes I see a stat block and I'm like, I want to have this monster fight them because it's super cool. And most people who play D&D, they know that a good portion of the game is combat, and that's kind of what they sign up for. And so you want to give them what they sign up for. So there's nothing obviously wrong with combat. So anyway, point of interest, an encounter, and then probably call it a day. I would not, if they're traveling from point A to point B, and they're going a few miles, you can still have a point of interest in an encounter. If they're going 100 miles, you can have a point of interest in an encounter. If they're going across the entire continent, you could still just have a point of interest and an encounter. And then you don't have to, just because what I'm trying to say is if they're traveling a super long distance, that doesn't mean that you have to have multiple points of interest and multiple encounters. Because we need to, yes, I know that it would be more realistic, but remember, we're not trying to do a simulation of the real world. Right? It's a role-playing game. We're role-playing, but we're playing a game. And from a gameplay standpoint, we all know that the most interesting stuff happens when we get to our destination, because that's where the adventure is. That's where your goal is. Everything that happens in overland travel from point A to point B is mostly a distraction, or you might argue that it's a waste of time, except that, remember, it's a game. So when we're playing parts of the game, nothing's really a waste of time if we're having fun and we're enjoying the game. So that's kind of, it's a way of thinking about it as a game, and at the same time that you're thinking of, you want it to be realistic, right? So even if you're traveling a long distance, perfectly fine to just have them have one point of interest and one encounter that you plan for them. Because then they get to the point where they're actually going and they get to do the thing that they wanted to do. And you guys don't spend 10 game sessions doing points of interest and random encounters or planned encounters just because they're going a long distance. So feel free to, yeah, there you go. Boom. All right, what's your problem? How do you make it feel like a long journey then? So it's a cutscene. So there are different ways of using time in the game, right? There's slow time, there's real time, and then there's will you stop trying to bite me? Seriously. He's not gonna listen to me. And then there's fast time, which can be, and then there's like a fadeaway basically. No, not a fadeaway, but there's like a cut. Where you cut an entire chunk of time out. There are different ways to use time, okay? And will you stop? That's right. I'm blowing on my face. That's right, I'm blowing on your face. Big fluffy bucket. Okay, so this is the way you want to use time in your games. I made an entire video on this, by the way. I have an entire video on points of interest that you can check out. Over on the dmlayer.com store, we also have a point of interest system that you can purchase if you would like, that goes over everything I'm talking about with points of interest, gives you some examples and stuff too, and kind of systematizes it a little bit if you need that. But I also have a video on using time in your D&D game, different ways to use time, and that's what I'm about to talk about now. But my video probably deep dives on it a lot more than I will right now. But basically, when you're using time in the game, let's define this first. So if you look at combat, whenever you're in combat, that's slow time, because the time that passes at the game table takes much longer than what actually happens in the game. Like the combat takes like maybe 3 rounds, so 3 times 6 is 18 seconds. But at the game table, it might take you a half an hour or longer to run a combat. It just depends. So that's called slow time. At the game table, things are happening a lot slower than they are in the game itself, in the actual world. That's slow time. Normal time is usually what happens when you have a social interaction where you're talking with an NPC. Then the back and forth dialogue is happening in real time. And then there's fast time. This is where things happen a lot faster. And so you might say something like, okay, you guys start traveling over to the manor, and you can see that the sun is beginning to set, and there's a bunch of birds traveling to the south. And you guys come across a caravan or two, and they greet you and salute you, and there's this brief conversation. But after a little bit of travel, you guys arrive to the manor that you're going toward. That right there is fast time. At the game table, things happen a lot faster than it actually did in the game itself. Because you don't want to, if they're just going to a manor that's outside town, maybe you just want them to get there and you don't want to actually spend a bunch of time, right? That's fast time. And then the cut, when you cut, that is when, like, you say, okay, you guys set off from Waterdeep and you're going to travel all the way across the continent. And all right, you guys have now arrived at your destination. Boom, you just did a sharp cut. You did a sharp cut and they're there, right? It might be a montage. So imagine if like Lord of the Rings or something, there's a bunch of travel, overland travel in Lord of the Rings, and it happens fast sometimes. There's like a cut to where they're here, and then there's a traveling montage, and then they're at this place and something happens. The time speeds up and it slows down to accommodate the narrative, to accommodate the story, because you don't want to spend a long period of time at the boring parts of the game, or in the case of a movie or a story, the boring parts of the movie or the story. It doesn't matter if it's realistic or not, because you're trying to maximize the play experience. You want to make this as most fun as possible for everyone at the game table. And so you want to use these different types of time effectively. And overland travel, that's fast time at the very least. It's fast time. And then you'll slow down a little bit when you have a point of interest or you have an encounter, but then you're going to go back to fast time, and you might even do a cut. After you have your first point of interest and they explore it, then you do a cut. Okay, you guys have arrived at your destination. Boom, you're done. So I would worry less about making it seem like a long journey. If you want it to seem like a long journey, just give a 3 sentences of narration. Of what you did, this happened and that happened, and then it took a long time and you rested several times. There were some scrapes with goblins and stuff, but you guys are level 15, so like the goblins were nothing and they ran away, and you took a couple captive and stuff, and then you got them to squeal about some treasure and you got a handful of coins for it, but eventually after all of this stuff, you arrive at your destination. So if you want to, you can just do something like that, just narratively do that, and that can make it seem like a longer travel if you want. But like, I wouldn't worry too much about making it seem like long travel when you know that part of the game is probably not the most interesting. But you can make it more interesting by including points of interest. So use those, but yeah, there you go. I think I got that covered. Bite. Yeah, the cat keeps biting me. This is what he does. All right, more questions. Whee! All right, question. With an action, you would almost win a real combat, but it actually gives no benefit in game, like you paralyze some creature, it lies there, and what can you do? I want to coup de grace somehow. I don't know what you're asking. Okay, so if you want to coup de grace something, like, it depends on what game system you're using. Some game systems don't have mechanics for coup de grace. That's just the way it is. like 5th edition D&D doesn't have a coup de grace mechanic. If it's a paralyzed creature, you get an automatic critical hit. If Pathfinder 2 doesn't have a coup de grace mechanic that I'm aware of, so that's the game system dependent. And if you want to coup de grace something, like obviously you could talk to your game master, but I'm going to give game master advice. I would not just allow coup de grace on creatures all the time if they're paralyzed or something, because the day's going to come where you're fighting an ancient red dragon and they cast hold monster on the thing and it fails its saving throw and it's out of legendary actions or legendary resistances, and then they go up and they're like coup de grace baby, and then the whole fight's over like in short order. So I you might want to coup de grace stuff, but from a gameplay standpoint, I don't like coup de grace. I mean, shoot, think about it this way. It cuts both ways, doesn't it? So if players can coup de grace my monsters can coup de grace the players if their characters, if they get paralyzed or something. Do you really want your character to get paralyzed and then have a goblin coup de grace you and just kill you outright? No, you don't. So that's something to always keep in mind. If the players can do it, the game master can do it. And sometimes you don't want game masters to be able to do something. You really, really don't. How do you make dragons the scary monsters they're supposed to be? You'd play them like scary freaking monsters. So the first thing that a dragon is going to do is, if I could fly and I were massive and a group of adventurers came into my lair, I'm going to tell you the first thing that I'm going to do. I'm going to breathe my breath weapon, obviously, at them. And if I have a cone, I'm going to be flying about 60 feet above, and I'm going to breathe my cone down so it hits all of them. That's the first thing. Next round, I am going to swoop down. I'm going to grapple somebody who looks like a spellcaster, say a wizard, maybe the cleric. Cleric's a good option. Actually, I'm going to go for someone who looks like a cleric, especially if somebody casts a divine spell. And I'm a dragon. I know the difference between divine spells, arcane spells, etc. As soon as a cleric reveals he's a spellcaster and he casts a divine spell, he's my target. So next round, I swoop down, I grapple him, I carry him away. I carry him away for, I don't know, a mile or something. I have a very fast fly speed. I carry him away. I kill the cleric by himself, one-on-one, after I carry him away. And then I bring him back and I drop him down on the battlefield, dead. You know, decapitated. I'll dismember him or something because I don't want somebody to just feed him a potion. Well, you couldn't do that if he's dead, but you know, make sure he's good and just obliterated. And then I look for the next spellcaster. That's going to be the wizard. I'm going to breathe my cone of fire again or whatever it is because, hey, I got it back. It recharged by then, right? And if it didn't get it back, I'm going to just circle over here before I come back and breathe on them, okay? And then I'm going to grab the wizard. I'm going to drag the wizard off. If my lair is in a swamp or something, I go under the water in an underground cavern where he can't find me, you know, and I'm going to drag him away. I'm going to murder him. I'm going to come back. I'm going to breathe some fire. I'm going to do dragon stuff. Like that is how you make dragons terrifying, you know? Now, the big question is though, is that sort of fight going to be fun at the game table? Probably not. It's just like auto murder. So like the way that I've usually seen dragons at a game table played is dragon lands, starts attacking, players just surround him and kill him, right? And if you run a dragon that way, it's gonna suck because the dragon shouldn't just land there. The dragon, you have barbarians, you have fighters, you have monks, and God bless their souls, they usually have really poor ranged options. Well, guess what? A dragon who's lived for centuries and is probably pretty smart, even if he's not smart, he's got the experience and wisdom to know that you don't stand next to the barbarian, the fighter, or the monk. No, you fly and keep your distance because those morons don't have good ranged options. So you have to play him smart. It's just role playing, right? What would the dragon do? It's not going to sit next to the barbarian. No, it's going to stink and fly around. My game session on Saturday. They were in this bazaar and I don't know. I don't understand none of this stuff. They could buy anything almost they wanted. And there were literally potions of flying available. They could have bought potions of flying. This has happened so many times in the game. The barbarian has been mostly unable to participate. There are some battles that happen with flying creatures, and the barbarian can't do anything. he has really poor ranged options, and he can't get at the flying creatures. And so he sometimes is just kind of screwed. And I'm not just gonna have somebody land next to him so he can pound on and make him feel good. I don't do that crap. My players, this is something that happens so many times. The players they're level 20. This has happened time and time again. They need to figure out the solution to the problem of the barbarian not being able to participate in some of these combats. And so they're at this bazaar, right? And there's literally potions of flying available. And they're like, nah, we don't need to buy those. Why? Well, because this person can cast fly and this person can cast fly. But how many times does it happen that you're in a combat and you don't have that spell slot available? Or you do, but man, it's way better for me to cast this spell because the enemy is destroying us. And so the versatility to have a potion of flying available that the barbarian can literally just go gunk, 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 and then fly is so huge. And yet they didn't buy a potion of flying, and I don't understand why. I didn't say anything, of course. I'm not gonna tell them, hey guys, maybe you should have bought a potion of flying. No, they made their bed, they get to sleep in it now. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Somebody asked the question, oh, about dragons, and I got into a tangent. Okay, but anyway, there you go. Buy potions of flying when you have the opportunity to do so. You will never regret having a few extra potions of flying on hand at higher levels. You will never regret it. Monks, barbarians, fighters, you will never regret it. Trust me. Wow. Anyway, that was fun. I was once in a game with a monk, and God bless her soul, she refused to even buy ranged weapons. It happened over and over again that she was completely unable to participate. Maybe not during the entire combat, but for portions of it, because she had no ranged weapons. Nothing. Not a dart, not like a throwing knife, nothing. Nothing. Over and over again. I was a player, she was a player. She did not, nothing, no range, nothing at all. And it happened constantly. And I even as a player suggested, hey, you know, we're in town, you could pick some ranged weapons up so you have an option. And she's like, no, I don't need those. I wanted to like just be like, yes, you do. And this is something that annoys me because her stubbornness and refusal, and she had no like in-character ethical reason not to use ranged weapons. She didn't have any of that kind of bullcrap going on, right? So she had no reason to not get a ranged weapon except that she as a player just didn't want to. So I nicely suggested, hey, you know, this constantly happens. If you get a ranged weapon, you can help us out. And she didn't want to. And that sort of behavior is like, to me, it's almost intentionally screwing the other players over because you're not contributing, you're not pulling your weight in some of these encounters. So if she were like something like you could probably create a paladin where you're like, no, I will only fight things face to face close to me because of honor and valor. And if the dragon's gonna fly around and burn me to a crisp, well, at least I die honorably. Arrgh. I mean, I suppose you could do that if you wanted to. I would still argue that you're then making a character who you're essentially screwing your party over in a way. but at least you have a role-playing reason, I suppose, and you can just say, that's what my character would do. I suppose. But she didn't have any of that. All she had was just player stubbornness, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, that's a fun story. All right, let's find some more questions. Maybe she thought Wire Fu was a legitimate D&D monk combat style. I don't know what that is. If that's a reference to a movie or pop culture, that's my worst Trivial Pursuit category, just so you know. All right, ladies and gentlemen, remember that we are currently raising money for the city rescue mission of Lansing. They support the homeless. They are a homeless shelter. They give them a place to sleep. They give them food. They're super sweet. I personally give a donation to them out of my own money every single month. And so right now we're trying to raise $500 for them. Woo! Right over here is our progress bar. So $500 is our goal. We are $30 in. So if you would like to donate and help support the homeless and help them out, give them food, place to sleep, and all that kind of good stuff, then feel free to do so. There should be a link down in the chat where you can tip. and 100% of all tips are going to go toward these folks. There's also a link to their website, so if you want to just go there and read more about them or donate directly, you're welcome to that as well. So, but there we go. That is our charity. We're trying to raise some money for it. If you'd like to help out, would greatly appreciate it. All right, we're also gonna, oh, I have a giveaway going on. I have forgotten to talk about the giveaway. We have a giveaway going on today. So there's a link down in the chat. Moderators, throw a giveaway link down there. Oh, there's already one there. So go join the giveaway. We're gonna draw the winner of the giveaway at the end of the stream tonight, which is in about an hour or so. And you can win $50 DM Lair store credit, where you can get a whole bunch of really cool stuff. And our most common email that we get at our support email is, when will hardcovers be back in stock? And hardcovers are going to be back in stock by the probably close to the end of this month of April. We'll have hardcovers back in stock because people are always asking us, I want Into the Fae hardcovers, or Lairs Legends 1, or Loot and Lore 1 hardcovers. So those will be back in stock on the store toward the end of this month if you want to grab hardcovers. So, but as a reminder, the stuff on the store, we ship within the US, right? If you're international and you want to get a hold of our hardcovers, then the way to get hardcovers, if you're an international, like you're in the UK or the EU, or say you're in, like, you know, Australia or something, or wherever you live internationally, you know, then the way to get hardcovers is through our Kickstarters. So because when we do Kickstarters, we have massive amounts of orders. It allows us to use fulfillment partners with different places around the world, and we can freight stuff over, which makes shipping way less expensive. It's still stupid expensive, but it's less expensive, which allows us to actually ship all across the world for our Kickstarters. So if you want to get hardcovers for past projects, then the Kickstarter launching tomorrow is your best chance to do that if you're international. All right, now, that is a wonderful segue for me to talk about our Kickstarter that's launching tomorrow. So this is the Kickstarter, Loot and Lore 2, Lairs Legends 2. This is launching tomorrow. We're gonna give backers 2 big, fat, beefy books full of 5th edition Game Master resources. These are the alt covers, and then these right here are the standard covers. Now, tomorrow, if you back tomorrow when this thing opens at 12 p.m. Eastern or 9 a.m. Pacific, tomorrow, April 2nd, you're going to get, back the first day, you're going to get your name in both of these books, both of these bad boys. So, but that's the only way to get your name in the books, back on the first day, which is tomorrow. So there should be a link down in the chat or somewhere else so that you want to keep biting me? Yeah. So that you can follow the project and get notified when it goes live tomorrow. We're also going to have a live stream tomorrow prior to the launch and then during the launch, because that's fun, I suppose. I'm like a nervous wreck, but it's still fun, I suppose. And yeah, so just do that. And then we also have special deals going on for these alt covers right there. You can get a special discount on them for the first 72 hours. So if you want the alt covers, you definitely want to back early so that you save a bunch of money on them. He keeps on biting me. He's a jerk. He's such a jerk. All right, cool. Let's keep going. Aside from the elemental powers, what would you say are the core aspects of what a dragon is? When I think of a dragon, I think of spell casting. They should have some cool spells that they can cast. And they should not be able to be counterspelled, because that is stupid. In fact, everyone should just go to the player handbook and just scribble out counterspell. It's one of the worst game mechanics in the entire game. There's a category of game mechanics that essentially don't let you play the game, and counterspell is one of the key parts. So out of this category of game mechanics that doesn't allow people to play the game, counterspell is one of them. You know, stunning fist and being stunned is another one. Polymorphing someone so they can't, like polymorphing someone into a clam, that's one of them. Force cage, that's one of them. So there's a whole bunch of things in the game that essentially take people out of the game, so you can't play the game. And so all of those things are absolutely reprehensible. I hate those, and they should be removed from the game, in my personal opinion, because I come to the game to play the game, not to sit on the side and not play. But so if you have a dragon, spellcasting is cool. Make sure that they can't be counterspelled. It's dragon magic. Can't be counterspelled. I don't know. So I think of spellcasting. I think of lots of damage. It should be terrifying. The dragon should be doing tons of damage. It should be terrifying. Obviously, you got the breath weapon, claws, the tail attack, the lair. Think about the lair. When I have dragons, I try as much as possible to have their lairs be really cool. So if it's a red dragon, their lair is in the mouth of an active volcano, and there's literally there's like streams of lava running down the outside of the mountain, and that's where the battle takes place, in pools of lava. And the dragon is picking people up and dropping them in lava. That's terrifying. If you're in a swamp, right? Well, then the dragon is like under the water half of the time. There's underwater caverns and tunnels that the dragon uses to pop up over here, breathe its breath weapon, go back down, swim around, let it recharge, pop back up again. The dragon might grab somebody and drag him under the water, right? And then maybe the dragon has pre-made places where it can drag powerful adventurers to let them drown, or it drags them down here and then just lets them go, swims away, and then the adventurer is down here basically going to start drowning and stuff. And the dragon might be smart enough to do things like, okay, so in D&D 5th edition, the amount of time that you can hold your breath is just stupid. So the dragon can do stuff like, I'm going to drag you underwater, and then I'm going to use an attack to basically force all of the air out of your lungs, so you immediately start drowning. I don't know. Like, a fight with a dragon should be terrifying. It should be terrifying. I think that's what dragon fights should be. They should be terrifying. Players should be pooping their pants. Like, the players, right? Should be terrifying. Of course, you gotta reward them too. If it's that nasty, they need to be rewarded. Don't forget about that. I think wizards should be able to cast with impunity. The last thing that I want to do to one of my players, think about this, like, so if one of my players rolls up a wizard and he's all excited, he's like, Krabby burn, ah! And he just wants to burn stuff and he's all excited to play the game. And then Krabby comes to the game table and he's like, I'm gonna burn stuff, I'm a sorcerer. Ah, yeah. And then as the game master, I'm just like, counterspell. And he's like, oh, I didn't get to play. And then his next turn, he's like, cast a spell. And I'm like, counterspell. Oh, I didn't get to play. And Krabby sits out for like the whole combat, not getting to cast any spells because he was dumb enough to roll up a wizard, or because I was a jerk enough to use counterspell on him all the time. I have a player not playing the game now. That's horse crap. That's bull crap. Because he chose to be a wizard or a sorcerer, he doesn't get to play the game. That's horse crap. So I don't do that as a game master. I let my players play the game. So it's like imagine if you were a fighter. So should fighters not get to swing their swords with impunity? Like, you should be able to take the sword out of their hand and cast it down a chasm and be like, haha, your +3 sword is gone now. You don't get to swing your sword. I hope you got backups. Well, I have this club. It's non-magical. Non-magical weapons don't hurt the monster. You suck. Like, why is it that we pick on wizards and sorcerers and stuff and make it so they can't play the game, but all the other classes get to play the game? It's stupid. Like, I want my players to play the game. And when I, as the game master, am running monsters that can cast spells, I want to be able to play the game too. I do. I really do. Like, I don't run the game to just sit there and like be able to do nothing and get the curb stomped every time. I want to play the game too. And so game elements that take people out of the game are stupid and shouldn't exist. Like, so you're gonna punish a player because they decided to play a wizard? They're excited to play a wizard. I get cool spells and stuff. Well, not anymore, because I'm gonna counterspell you every chance I get. Well, that's stupid. And then if I, as a game master, have monsters that can cast spells, but they get counterspelled every time, well then what am I gonna do? Well, I'm not gonna have monsters that can cast spells. All my monsters are just gonna swing weapons and have claws that hurt you. And the game just got a whole lot more boring, didn't it? Because every monster does the same stupid crap. Because there's a certain category of things called spellcasting that just get totally destroyed in the game because of the mechanic called counterspell. So no, counterspell is stupid. Everybody should be able to play the game with impunity. Yes, because we all show up to play the game. I will rant on that every time you poke the bear. because I want to play the game, and I am here to facilitate my players playing the game as well. That is my job as the game master, to facilitate gameplay for everyone, including players, including me, and even Squeaky here, who's apparently going to sit there the whole stream. Oh, my wife's saying something. Give way. Yes. My wife brought more food for Zoe. Zoe! 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 Mañana le Zoe! We got food for you! Zoe! Zoe! Whoa! Alright. I'll give you the big view. Let's see, where's the there we go. There's the doggy eating. There you go. Little guys down here. Doggy gets food time. Oh, we should give the cats food. Why don't we give the cats food? That's only fair. Let's see if we can get some cats. Oh yeah, I'm getting some customers. I'm totally getting some customers. What? What? Squirty, go eat the food. Get your nose out of there. Go get your snack. She smells the catnip. So that's the dog. And then, why does the camera seem blurry? Here's the kitties. The camera seems blurry on the dog cam. Let me check that out. Hold on. Properties. Why is it blurry? Let me check that out. Configure video. Oh, I mean, the focus is fine. I don't know why she's blurry. There you go. It's food time. Food time in the DM lair. Except for me. I don't get food. I've been a bad boy. I get no food today. Okay. The Serpent Shall Win asks a great question. How do you challenge players past 10th level in 5th edition? D&D 5th edition. How? I got a 12th level monk walking through dungeons, stomping butt. Okay, well, I'm gonna give you my cop-out answer. And then I'm gonna try to answer your actual question. So my cop-out answer is to play a better game system. So you want a game system that allows you, the game master, to design encounters and dungeons and adventures where you can deliver a certain amount of challenge to your players. You want a system that allows you to fine-tune what you're able to do, right? 5th edition was not designed to allow the game master to fine-tune encounters to be a certain challenge level. 5th edition is not designed that way. It's not designed that way because the math doesn't really work. The challenge rating system doesn't work. The math isn't very tight. When you use their encounter building rules, it doesn't really work. Now, between levels 3 and 8, it works okay-ish. After levels 8, it starts to fall apart completely. And then whether something's easy, medium, or deadly or hard, it starts to be like up in the air. And then you got a level 12 monk, you're hosed. The challenge rating system and the encounter building mechanics and math and D&D 5th edition are just destroyed. By 12th level, they're done. They're done. You can't follow the rules. You have to do, Squeaky's got some cat food on his back. You have to basically break the rules and throw crazy crap at them. So one of the things that I do, I have a monk in my game and he's a level 20 monk, But do you want to know what he does? Do you want to know what he does? He doesn't use Stunning Fist a whole lot. Why? Because he knows that it's a mechanic that takes me out of the game and doesn't let me play the game. And so he's got tons of key points, but he exercises restraint and doesn't use it a whole lot. So what I would do is, if the Stunning Fist is a problem, then bosses have immunity to being stunned. Just make them immune to being stunned. Any boss, and or maybe powerful lieutenants, they can't be stunned. So, okay, but anyway, my original train of thought is what I was trying to say is that the game system, D&D 5th edition, does not allow you to kind of do what you're wanting to do. It's not a game system designed for that. D&D 5th edition is a game system designed, I don't know, it's just the players are super powerful, and it's hard for the game system isn't designed for game masters to easily run a game. You have to use a lot of guesswork. You have to use a lot of your experience as a game master to tweak things and make changes. So if you are a new game master, D&D 5th edition is going to be a lot more challenging for you to run successfully. Now, if you're a veteran, you can probably figure things out. But a game system, what I'm going to recommend to you, something very similar to D&D 5th edition, but superior in many, many ways, is Pathfinder 2. Now, Pathfinder 2 was completely... The dog is just doing circles down here. Pathfinder 2 was actually designed for you to be able to do what it sounds like you want to do. Designing encounters that are a certain challenge level, adventures that have a certain challenge, so that a monk isn't just stomping everything with impunity. Right, there's actually a challenge there. They can't just Stunning Fist everything. So there's a mechanic in Pathfinder 2 where if something has, I forget the exact term they use, but if something can, paralysis is one of them, being stunned is one of them. There are certain, well, no, hold on. Yeah, stunned is one of them. There are certain things that totally take you out of a fight. And if a creature is a certain level, is a higher level than you are, then there is, I forget the exact mechanic because it hasn't come up in our game a whole lot. But basically, they're not totally immune to your effect, but they have greater resistance to it or something like that. So it's better designed, and even the encounter building math is better designed. They've figured out the math is tight. Like, if you want to make sure your party's being challenged, you can actually do that, and you don't have to do a ton of guesswork either. It's pretty reliable, I found. If an encounter says that it's a moderate encounter, it's actually moderate. If it says that it's easy, it's actually easy. Or if it's trivial, it's trivial. So my ultimate recommendation, and my cop-out recommendation, I guess, is to get a better game system. Like, if you want D&D 5th edition to do a thing that it's not designed to do, it doesn't do it very well. So if you get a game system that's designed to do the thing you want it to do, then you're going to be in a much better place. And so I think Pathfinder 2 is superior in a lot of ways. It's similar to 5th edition, but it fixes a lot of the problems that 5th edition has. And that is where Pathfinder 2 shines. Now, if you want a rules light system, then you probably want to go with something like, or in a grittier game, because 5th edition is not gritty at all. It's superhero combat mostly. If you want something grittier and lightweight rules, go with something like an OSR, or go with Shadow Dark. If you want, or Dungeon Crawl Classic maybe, depending on the type of game you want, right? Castles and Crusades might be something to take a look at. So if you're dead set on playing 5th edition, as lots of people are, because your players have the game and they don't want to switch, and learning new rules is hard and stuff, well, then you just have to do the best you can and homebrew a couple things, throw more difficult monsters at your players, homebrew the monsters a little bit so they're immune to certain things, like they can't be stunned and stuff. Like, be careful though, because what you don't want to do is completely nerf their abilities either, because then the players aren't going to be happy that the monk can no longer do things that monks are supposed to be able to do. So that's why I recommended maybe boss monsters or lieutenants can't be stunned, but not everything, because that would just be lame. Now, I have 100% done things in the past where if I know that my players, and this is another thing you have to do with D&D 5th edition, you have to adapt the encounters and the adventures to your players' classes and their spells and the abilities they have. You at the higher levels, you must adapt. You cannot just like run a vanilla adventure at higher levels and not adapt the adventure. Usually that doesn't work very well. You have to if the wizard has these spells, if the wizard has Wall of Force and Force Cage and all of these different things, then I have to take that into account when I'm tweaking or designing my adventure for D&D 5th edition, right? It's a lot more work, right? But if you don't do that, things are they're gonna be able to cheese their way through certain stuff. And so I've totally done things where like I once had a paladin, a high level paladin in a game, and he had that feature where his charisma bonus is added. My dog is finding all the cat treats. The paladin's charisma bonus is added to all saving throws, everybody's saving throws, and so you have a +5 or a +6 charisma bonus being added to everybody's saving throws. Well, everybody's making their saving throws. Oh, and they have advantage. I think they get advantage on things. They get resistances. It's crazy. Paladins are really powerful at high levels. They're powerful at low levels and mid levels, but at high levels, they're. So I've totally done things where I've just across the board increased all of the DCs for saving throws, because if I don't do that, nothing is challenging. And you'll be like, well, that's kind of like invalidating the paladin's feature. Well, okay, but the game designers did a pretty poor job of balancing certain things, and so I have to, otherwise the game kind of sucks. So I mean, that's my job as a game master, to create, tension and drama and excitement and challenge, right? And so for D&D 5th edition, you got to tweak a whole bunch of crap, and that's why I've made videos about this. I've said this before. D&D 5th edition is not made for new game masters. It's hard for new game masters compared to something like Pathfinder 2, which I think is much more new game master friendly, because the rules actually work and the math works and things a lot tighter. So okay, but anyway, that's kind of what you're looking at. You got to homebrew stuff if you actually want it to work. Hey, look at that. Markeen says, I'm starting Pathfinder 2. Now my dog's got a puke and stuff. She just freaks out. My dog is like an eating monster. She's an eating monster. Markeen is starting Pathfinder 2 next week, thanks to my videos. Cool, thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I keep trying to tell people Pathfinder 2 is better. Pathfinder 2 is better. And you get to support, well, let's just say that some of the things that Wizards of the Coast has done in the past have not been ethical. Let us say that. So you get to support a different company. All right. Hackmaster is brutal. I played a one shot of Hackmaster. I didn't really know any of the rules. The game master was doing that all for us. I had fun. I don't recall to what extent we found it to be brutal or not, though. It was fun. I liked it. It was like D&D with different rules, basically. Oh, Sid Goblin says that's why I moved to Pathfinder 2nd Edition. It's so much easier to game master. I cannot tell you how much easier it is for me to run Pathfinder 2 than D&D 5th Edition. I enjoy prepping for my Pathfinder 2 game so much. It is so much fun, and playing it is more fun. It's so much better. I tried to convince my 5th Edition group to change to Pathfinder 2, but they didn't want to learn new rules, so I'm stuck running 5th Edition. But I would be happier with Pathfinder 2. It's so much better. But that's life, I suppose. All right, I'm looking for questions now. Don't forget to join our giveaway. We have a giveaway going on tonight. Get $50 store credit. Hopefully we got a link down in the chat below for the giveaway. Oh, don't forget our Kickstarter's launching tomorrow. Make sure you back on day one so that you get your name in these books. Day one backers get a special credit. They get their name in the books. And for the first 3 days, we have crazy special deals going on. You're gonna get a whole bunch of cool stuff, such as 36 digital adventures for free. That's a ton of content for free, just for backing in the first 3 days. These books are gonna be amazing. We should have a link down the giveaway for that as well. We should have a link down in the chat for the Kickstarter as well. If we don't, I'm not doing my job properly. Peak D&D. What's up, Ben? How you doing, man? Ben said, I thought you might do an April Fool's joke that Wizards of the Coast has now employed you. All hail our evil overlords. Yeah, no. They couldn't pay me enough. They can't pay me enough. I mean, and shoot, dude, they're laying off. Everybody keeps getting laid off. Like, so you want to trade what I'm doing now to go to like have really bad job security and get a lower paycheck? Nah. And then I wouldn't be able to. I wouldn't be able to talk freely. You know, like I wouldn't be able to just tell you truth. I'd have to like be the little corporate LinkedIn like fool. You know how people go on LinkedIn and they're like, people get fired, they get laid off, they get fired from their jobs, and then they go on LinkedIn and they're like, I want to thank X and X company for 10 years of amazing time and friendships made and things learned and stuff. I'm so grateful, to this company. And in parentheses, that just laid me off and fired me after 10 years of working there. So I wouldn't be able to talk freely if that were actually true, Ben. And that would be sad for everybody. I would just be a corporate shill or whatever you want to call it. So right now I can just say what I want to say. Maxi Furs says, not only is Pathfinder 2nd edition easier to run for GMs, but the players have an insane amount of customization. Oh yes, that's the cool thing. If you are a player who loves to customize your characters, Pathfinder 2 has crazy amounts of customization you can do. And not only can you customize your characters up the wazoo, but you're not going to be stabbing yourself in the foot and making yourself suboptimal. Now, of course, in any game system, there's always like the best build you can possibly have. But one of the things they did really well at Pathfinder 2 was make it so that things are balanced. So like some classes and builds are going to be better than others, right? But it's not like a night and day difference necessarily like you see in 5th edition. Like in 5th edition D&D, there are some classes that are just way better, objectively better than others, right? Like the Ranger they published, and the Paladin is like amazing crazy, and the Ranger's like, and then even there are some builds, like you take the Barbarian, there's everybody goes the path of the Totem Warrior basically, because it's probably the best. And then there's the Berserker build, which gives you a level of exhaustion or something when you end your rage. I forget the details, but it's horrible. Nobody picks it because it's so bad, right? So there's like in D&D 5th edition, there's like you kind of, unless you want to totally nerf yourself and play something crazy suboptimal that just can't pull its own weight, then you have to pick certain things, right? Whereas in Pathfinder 2, you can customize your character, and at the same sinking time, your character still can pull its weight. Now, some people might be better, right? Because it's a game, and that's just the way things work, but Pathfinder 2, baby, for the win. Customization is awesome. Oh, Michael Boreal. Yeah, I mean, so Michael says it's self-preservation. Prospective employers look at your profiles, and if you rip your previous employer, they might think twice about hiring you. Oh, I understand. I know the game. That's what you do. You want to go on there, but you're doing two things. When you go on LinkedIn and you post that I just got laid off or let go after 10 amazing years at X company. I'm so grateful, blah, 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 blah. You're doing two things. First, you're doing lots of things. It's all self-preservation. It's all self-interest. You need to get a new job because we all got bills to pay and we need to eat, right? And that little monster wandering around right there needs food, right? So we all got bills to pay. So you don't want to kill yourself, So you say the stupid stuff that you have to say to get the next job. And you want to make sure you don't come off as a jerk. You want to make sure you seem grateful and enthusiastic, You want to, you also want to announce that you're looking for a job so people will know, hey, he's looking for a job, And so there's a lot of things those posts accomplish, right? They're not genuine at all. They're completely disingenuous or whatever, because the people, when you get laid off or fired, you're not grateful. Come on. I'm happy that I now have an opportunity and new opportunities lie before me, You're not, dude. You're thinking, how am I going to pay my bills? You're not grateful. These posts are just like, they're kind of revolting. But yes, I understand why you do it, because you have to, because you got to get the next job and stuff. So I get it. I get it. But it is one of those things in life that is horrible that you have to do anyway, and a part of your soul dies every time you have to do it to just get a new job. So it's one of those things that we shouldn't have to do. And yeah, I totally understand. All right, looking for questions. Who's in more questions? Have you seen the new dragons in Pathfinder 2nd Edition Remastered Monster Core? Do I have that yet? I don't think I've received that yet. So they've sent me the PDF for the Monster Core, but I don't think I have the actual physical book yet. Unless they sent it. No, they probably sent it to my P.O. box. I gotta go check my P.O. box. So Paizo sends me their books. I just ask for them and they send them to me because Paizo's amazing. So it might be sitting in my P.O. box and I gotta go check that. I don't check my P.O. box very often. Sometimes I'll go there and I'll have like 5 boxes waiting for me and I'm like, whoa, what did I get? Because it's been a couple months since I checked my P.O. box. So it might be waiting for me. But I haven't seen them yet. All right. Looking for questions. If you posted a question and I have been ignoring you because I'm a jerk, you can repost it if you want. Ebony says, I'm new to running 5th edition and I'm already seeing that calculating encounters the way it's suggested isn't hard enough, but I don't want to make something too hard and end in a TPK if I don't fudge rolls. Ebony, this is the perennial problem that game masters for 5th edition run into, because the fact of the matter is that the rules for creating encounters were probably arguably, objectively, not even arguably, they were objectively never accurate to begin with. But those are the rules that were published in the Dungeon Master Guide in 2014, I believe. And subsequent to 10 years ago, you've had Xanathars come out that introduced new options. You've had Tasha's come out that introduces new options. A lot of the modules and different things introduce new options for players. And every time a new player option is released, usually it's more powerful than existing stuff. And that is one of the ways they get people to buy books. So objectively, things, generally speaking, are more powerful when they come out. For D&D, if we're talking about D&D 5th edition. So what ends up happening is there's power creep. There's power creep where a player who created a character in 2014 is going to have a certain level of power. But a player now who creates a character using all the different options, you have the potential for creating a character that's way more powerful. That's just facts. It's power creep. It might even be engineered obsolescence if you want to get into some tinfoil hat stuff. Because if you keep doing that, eventually you're going to break the game. And if you break the game, then you have to do what? Make a new version, or you make the 2024 version. So, but we're getting into perhaps tinfoil hat territory at that point. So, but at the very least, you definitely have power creep. And so a character created today is more powerful than a character created in 2014. And yet the rules for making encounters were created in 2014. And so if the rules for making encounters weren't that great in 2014, then they're definitely not that great in 2024 when you have way more powerful characters. And so this is the perennial, constant, non-stop problem of game masters, where if you're trying to balance an encounter, you can't, because the rules don't work anymore. They never kind of did to begin with, but they especially don't work now. And so you have to spitball things. And again, we're going back to the point we made earlier, where of D&D 5th edition not being new game master friendly, right? Because it's hard for game masters who have no experience with the game system, or even maybe game mastering, to homebrew and balance encounters using their own experience and their own gut impulses and judgment, because the rules in the book aren't reliable in that regard. So that's a problem we have, right? And so, I mean, I'm pretty sure I have. I'm pretty sure I have some videos out there that deep dive into how to balance encounters. You might want to go take a look and do some searches on those videos. See if you can find the videos. It's not. I don't have an easy answer for you because D&D 5th edition is not really made for new game masters because it's not designed. The math doesn't work super tightly, and they keep introducing power creep to sell more books because it's Hasbro, and Hasbro is a publicly traded company, and they have to maximize shareholder profits, stocks. That's what they do. Their officers, their C-suite, they have to maximize their stock shares. Like half of their salaries, most of their compensation is probably in stock options and sharing and crap. And so they have to maximize profits, and they have to maximize shareholder value, stock prices, you know. And when you get into that, that means that you do things like intentionally introduce power creep to sell books, because you got to keep selling those books, baby. Don't let that sell stop because stock prices go down, you know. And you know, when companies are not doing too well, or you know, laying off a bunch of people increases stock prices too. Usually, that's what happened in tech. Did you guys notice that in tech? When like I have investments in lots of tech companies, and when tech did all of their layoffs, like it was several months ago at this point, but my stock shares went through the roof because they're laying off a bunch of people, because you're lowering your overhead and you're increasing your profits, and that usually raises stock prices. So I mean, I'm not an expert on these things. All I know is that I see this and it's like, laid off a bunch of people, stock prices go through the roof. Like pretty much immediately. It's like, oh, okay. Tech was overhiring. There was a glut of overhiring. They were intentionally just kind of scooping up everybody and then kind of seeing who the good workers were. And they were probably always planning on getting rid of a whole bunch of people. But it was there was a point where it was just a prime, wonderful time to just scoop up a whole bunch of people because we had the money. Let's scoop up a bunch of employees, see who's doing a good job, you know, and then we're going to get rid of them eventually. It was an intentional thing that a lot of tech companies did. So, and I don't know that's probably more of like a hypothesis type of thing. I think my buddy Joe was telling me about that, and it totally makes sense. So anyway, I don't want to deep dive into that too much because that's totally off topic from what this channel is supposed to talk about. But anyway, Israel Morales says, espérate. I can wait. Yes, espérate vos. Calm down. It'll come. Tomorrow you can back the project. I'm hungry. I'm looking for questions. Repost your questions if you want. Felipe says, is Zoe blind or deaf? Zoe is blind. My dog Zoe is blind. Let's get Zoe. Zoe, they're talking about you. Zoe. Come on, let's go. Oh, my dog. I know you're a dog. All right. So she's blind. She cannot see anything. She's not deaf, but sometimes she does not. When I call her, she will go racing off in the completely wrong direction. And I know that hearing is a non-precise sense, but I can tell the direction. If my eyes are closed, I can tell the direction that sounds are coming from. And sometimes she cannot tell the direction that sounds are coming from, and I don't totally understand it. She can hear, but I don't know. She doesn't know. She'll sometimes go running off like opposite direction. So, but totally blind. Right, Zoe? Are you blind? But I'll tell you what, she has a sense of smell. She can smell food. Oh, she can smell food. That's like she's like, that's the one thing that makes me happy is eating food. Yeah, we can tell because she's got a bit of a belly going on. You've got a bit of a belly, don't you?
I'm a dog.
Yeah. She's a diaper doggy. She's a diaper doggy because she pooped on stream, so she gets a diaper. Oh, she doesn't have any water. I'm gonna get her some water really quick. All right, here you go. Some water. I'm gonna fill my coffee up too. My coffee's empty. What am I doing? coffee filled. Oh, baby. All right. Ebony says rants are kind of memorable, though. You see, this is an interesting thing. Ebony became a member, and when you're a member, your name is like green in my feed, and so I can see what you say a whole lot easier because you stand out to me. And so Ebony's getting a whole bunch of their messages read today because they're a member. All right. Who is this? Charlie Muffin? Oh, Charlie Mullins. Charlie Mullins, hello, what's up? I almost called you Charlie Muffins, and that's not your name. Muffins are good, dude. Blueberry muffin with butter on it. Oh, hold on a second. Blueberry muffin. All right, guys. Check this out. Is this not awesome? Oops. Is this not awesome? Look at this. Which ones are the best? Oh, these look good. Oh, they got crumble on top of them. Oh, these are the kinds you want. You want the blueberry muffins that have crumble on top. Oh, this is too much blueberry. There is too much blueberry in that one. That's like you need the right ratio of like, you know, flour or batter to like blueberry. And this has too much blueberry in it. It's just like eating a handful of blueberries. That's way too much. You want something better proportion. I don't know if there's a photo of one that has like actual good amount of this one. That looks more reasonable. Oh, that looks delicious too. Oh, that looks good. That's probably too many. There's too many blueberries in that. What about this one? That's getting better, but still a lot. It's too many blueberries. That's a thing. Oh, this is way too many. That's crazy. You just stuffed that full of blueberries. Why would you do that? These people are nuts. Oh, they put food coloring in it, it looks like, or something. Or maybe not, but geez, what happened here? The whole thing is a different color. Wow, oh, this looks good. Blueberry muffin cake recipe. Ooh, that's probably too many blueberries though. Yeah. Anyway, this is what blueberries look like, ladies and gentlemen. Blueberries. Giddy up. Is there a blueberry emoji? Somebody found a blueberry emoji. Drake says, any tips for running a meat grinder style dungeon or sessions? Maybe like Dungeon Crawl Classics, level 0 funnels to make it more enjoyable. So the thing with I've played several Dungeon Crawl Classic level 0 funnels, and I think my ultimate verdict on funnels is once you've run a couple funnels, you probably don't need to run any more funnels the rest of your life, because level 0 funnels, your characters don't have anything interesting really they can do, and I don't care that they're dying constantly, but it's not super interesting when you just don't have anything interesting that you can do besides like I had a shovel. I can use my shovel, or like I have a rolling pin, and that's my weapon I have. So I don't know. I certainly would not want to run a level 0 funnel. But if you're talking about the meat grinder style, where things are just brutally hard and death is frequent and stuff like that, I think what I would recommend if you want to run that type of game, I think there are two things that I would recommend. The first is you gotta get buy-in from your players. Your players have to want to run that game too, because if that's the game you want to run and none of your players want to play that game, they're gonna hate it, and then it's not gonna last very long. So you need to have players who want that grinder, they want that level of brutality, they want it to be gritty and hard. So that's the first thing, get buy-in from your players. The second thing is pick the right system. If you're going to have a very brutal, gritty system where death is real and perhaps frequent, then you need to have a game system that supports that gameplay. And one of the first things that comes to my mind is that you need to have a game system where creating a character is fast and easy. Zoe, what are you doing down here? You need to take a chill pill. Come on, take a chill pill. Take a chill pill, doggy. If you let's go to the extreme. I'm gonna pick on Pathfinder 2 a little bit. Creating a Pathfinder 2 character takes some time. There's a level of complexity, there's a whole bunch of customization you can do, which is great for long-term play of that character because you can play the exact thing you want. But if your character is dying constantly and it takes you an hour or longer to make a character every single time, then that can get a little bit difficult, right? And you're gonna be like, why, what? So, however, if you're playing something like Shadow Dark or an OSR game, or maybe even Dungeon Crawl Classics, where character creation is much faster, well, then when your character dies, it doesn't take you quite as long to make a new one, and then you're good to go. So I think my 2 quick tips are get player buy-in for a grittier meat grinder style of game. That is absolutely required. Otherwise, that thing's gonna crash and burn. And the second thing is use a game system that's adequately designed for that type of play. D&D 5th edition is out, doesn't work. D&D 5th edition is not suited at all for a meat grinder or a gritty realistic game. Just toss that out the door. I wouldn't use Pathfinder 2 for it because it takes a long time to create a character. I would use something simple, lightweight, like Shadow Dark or an OSR or maybe Dungeon Crawl Classics. I've only ever played funnels in Dungeon Crawl Classics, so I'm not sure offhand how quick you can create a DCC character or not. But I think you want something where it's quick. That's the important part. All right, ladies and gentlemen, don't forget to join the giveaway. We are giving away $50 DM Lair store credit. There is a link to the giveaway down below. It looks like I got dog hair on me. So join the giveaway, and our Kickstarter launches tomorrow. Lairs Legends 2, baby. Those were the normal covers. Here are the alt covers. Tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. Follow the project at the link below. Get notified when it goes live. You're going to want to back the first day because you will get your names in these books. We're going to have a special credit for all of our day one backers. So when you're running a Kickstarter, getting early momentum is super important for the success of your project. This is just something that's true. And so this is why you constantly see people have these special deals at the beginning of their Kickstarter because they want that early momentum. It helps their project a ton. And so what we basically do, like almost everybody else, is that if you back early, you get special stuff, you get extra stuff, you get cool stuff. And because we want to reward people who are helping our Kickstarter get early momentum. And so back on the first day, you're going to get your name in these books. This is the only way to get your name in the books, is to back on day one. There's no other way to get your name in the books unless you write it there yourself, which kind of seems illogical. But you could, I suppose, but it's not real. It's just you made it up. So back on day one, get your name in the books. Also, for the first 72 hours, the first 3 days, we have special deals going on where you can save tons of money on these beautiful alt covers right here. You also will get 36 digital adventures included with your pledge if you back within the first 72 hours. So this project is going to be awesome, where you're going to get tons and tons of Game Master resources to use in your game. It's a beautiful thing. All right, I'm looking for more questions now. So is day one just the first 12 hours or until noon the next day? It's technically going to be until 12 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. So if you're, it's 12 p.m. It's 12 midnight. So no, hold on a second. It's actually going to be, we're having it end so that if you're on Pacific time, it ends at 12 a.m. midnight Pacific time, which means that for Eastern time, it would be 3 a.m. Eastern. We're trying to make it so people on the Pacific coast, it's actually midnight is the deadline for the first day. But yeah, it's the first day, literally the first day, very first day. So do it first day. So while you're at work, tab out to a different tab, back it, go on your phone, go for a bathroom break. This is what we all do. How many of you, when you're at work, you go on a bathroom break and do a sit down job with your phone and you're doing stuff on your phone? Come on, we all do it. Go take a quick bathroom break, back it, or when you get home, back it when you get home from work, etc., etc., etc. This is what everybody does. We all do this. Come on. Some of us have to hide it more than others. Like, I work at home, so I don't have to hide it. I just take a book with me and I get some reading done, How does a bag of holding work in an anti-magic field? Oh, yes, Dream's Gone. There is a celebration stream. Literally tomorrow, we have a special stream tomorrow for the Kickstarter. At 10 a.m. Eastern, we begin streaming, and we're going to, that's leading up to the Kickstarter. For 2 hours leading up to it, we're going to be streaming. And then at noon, we're going to push the button to launch it, and you guys are all going to see me push the button. And then I will be streaming for an hour thereafter. So the first hour, I'll be streaming. And I'm mostly going to be doing management stuff for the Kickstarter. I'll be pushing buttons and doing stuff and sending emails. I don't know, all the crap, all the stupid crap you gotta do, So, but yeah, we're gonna do that. It'll be fun. That's what we did for Secret of Game Mastery. We had like that celebration stream, so it'll be cool. We'll be on for 3 hours, and you guys can hang out with me and stuff. So, yeah, that's tomorrow. Tomorrow's gonna be a long day. I tried not to schedule a bunch of stuff in my calendar tomorrow. So my calendar tomorrow, what does my calendar tomorrow look like? We got the stream, we got the launch of the Kickstarter, and then, yeah, we had a storm go through here last fall and damaged my siding and damaged my deck. And the contractor called me today and he's like, yeah, I'm gonna come out tomorrow to like do some measurements and are you available? And I'm like, no, I'm not available. And he's like, I'll be out there between noon and 1. Could you just do a phone call during then? I'm like, no, I can't do it. I have a project to launch. It's not gonna work. He's like, oh, you got something for work? I'm like, yeah, you could say that. Yeah. So anyway, tomorrow's a busy day for me. Oh yes, bag of holding in an anti-magic field. Well, whenever I have questions like this myself, what I do is I go to the rules and take a look at what this stuff says. So let's go over here let's go to D&D Beyond, because I paid them a bunch of money for these books and I'm going to use them whenever I have access. I don't currently have a sub to them. I have not given Wizards of the Coast a dime since they broke their 20-year-long promise with the OGL. Well, they tried to. They tried to until everybody revolted. So anyway, that's neither here nor now. What am I doing? I'm going to, let's go over here. Sources, game rules, spells. Okay, here we go. We're talking about the anti-magic field, which is basically, there's an anti-magic field spell. So we're gonna look up that spell and see what it says. Because it's probably got the answer in the spell. Probably. Just gotta wait for this. You just wait for it. Google got nothing on speed. Anti-magic field. All right, here we go. Within this, it's in sentence number 3. Within the sphere, spells can't be cast, summoned creatures disappear, and even magic items become mundane. There you go. So the magic item becomes mundane. Okay, so that's great, Luke. Thank you. I can read too. So the question then probably is, but what happens to everything within the bag of holding? Okay, so a bag of holding essentially functions as a way to pass items to an extra dimensional plane, right? That exists on a different dimension. So my ruling would be that a bag of holding inside an anti-magic field, that portal to the extra dimensional plane would cease to function. So you think about the opening to the bag as the portal. That ceases to function. So the bag itself is just a normal bag if you look inside of it. It's a normal bag. Now, the extra dimensional plane where all of your stuff is stored, that's still there, and that's fine, because that's a pocket on a different plane. That was not affected by the anti-magic field. because the anti-magic field only affects the current plane of existence. So your stuff is fine, it's in your bag of holding, it's in the extra dimensional plane, but your bag of holding, as long as it's within the anti-magic field, is just a normal bag. It doesn't like dump out all the contents or anything. It doesn't do that stupid stuff because that doesn't make any sense, right? I'm setting up the logic here. Now, if you were to go outside the anti-magic field, it becomes magical again, and that portal, the portal in the mouth of the bag that leads to that extra dimensional plane begins to work again, and all of your stuff is sitting there safe and sound. So that would be my ruling about how a bag of holding functions inside an anti-magic field. And there's my logic that leads me to that conclusion. All right, next question. Oh, hey, Penguin! Penguin's here! If Luke doesn't notice, someone tell Luke Penguin left him a tray of cookies after stopping by. Hey, where are my cookies? I want my cookies. Penguin, tell me where my cookies are. I want my cookies. All right. Thanks for stopping by, Penguin. It was good to see you. Well, it was good to see your chat. Did you swing your wrench at all? Oh, I would have swung my wrench. The alt covers are beautiful. Yes, thank you. They are. All right. I'm looking for questions. Desmond says, if a DM makes obvious retcons and changes to rule spells on the fly to force a player to solve a problem the way he wants, is that railroading? That's being a bad. That's called a bad DM. That's stupid. I mean, yeah, it's railroading. Literally, the definition of railroading is essentially the removal of agencies such that a player must follow a certain path to arrive at a outcome. So like there's only one way to solve the puzzle. And if you try something else that should work, it doesn't because you didn't do it the right way. There's only one way into the city through the front gates. If you try to climb the wall, that doesn't work. If you try to fly in at night, that doesn't work. If you try to go in through like a culvert underneath the city walls, that doesn't work. If you try to magically teleport in, that doesn't work. The only way to go in through the city is through the front gates because I, the game master, have an encounter there that you need to play, and I need you to go through that front gates. So that the railroading is when you force players to arrive at a place or a conclusion and you make them do it via a certain manner. Railroading is not when like you have a plot hook for an adventure and players are expected to go there. That's not railroading. That's a linear game design, which is a completely valid way to run a game. Most modules are designed as linear modules. Even if they say they're sandboxes, they're not, because they're designed for specific levels. Each adventure is designed for a specific level. And once you do that, it's linear with a little bit of deviation, but it's mostly linear because you put levels on the adventures. And you think a first level party is gonna go to the level 12 adventure first? Well, you can because it's a sandbox. Well, no, you can't because you die immediately. So it's not really a sandbox. Almost every published adventure is linear, right? They almost all are. It's facts. Most games you play are linear. That's facts, right? There's nothing wrong with having a linear game. Railroading is something totally different, and it is despicable behavior. So in the situation you mentioned, obviously I always take this stuff with a grain of salt because remember, the first person to tell their story always seems correct until the other person comes and sets the story straight, right? So I'm getting one side of the story, but what I am getting sounds like crappy dungeon mastering to me. So yeah, that's horse crap. your house ruling spells on the fly. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. I'm literally going to change rules because you're trying to solve something the way that I don't want you to, the wrong way. And so I'm going to change how spells work. Yeah, that's so stupid. I wouldn't be in a game like that for very long. I am a new player looking to dungeon master a campaign. What's a recommended first campaign? I will give you a recommended first campaign. Stand by. Stand by. All right. Well, I actually have a campaign that you can purchase that is super sweet. So we're going over to thedmlair.com. We're going to go to shop and we're going to go to Into the Fae. Into the Fae. Where is this? There it is. Whee! So this is a campaign that I wrote a few years ago. It's a level 1 to 5 campaign. It features Fae creatures and stuff like that. And it's super cool. And I have to say that because I wrote the thing, but it's still super cool. So you can go grab this. Now we do have the Ultimate Bundle is the best bang for your buck. Now we have some factory second hardcovers. We only have 8 left. We do have factory second hardcovers, which means that they aren't perfect. They're not very good prints, but they're way cheaper than the normal ones. The normal ones cost more, and you can also get the book by itself. The factory second hardcover is only $30 because it's a factory second, so you get a good deal on it. Now the actual hardcovers are out of stock right now, but they are en route from our printer, and they're supposed to arrive at our warehouse by the end of the month. So like really good hardcovers, like well printed, flawless, beautiful hardcovers will be available very, very soon. But I would highly recommend Into the Fae. You can get the PDF of it too. We sell PDFs, so you can get the PDF. It's super, super cool. I think you'd have lots of fun playing that, and your players wouldn't have copies of it. They wouldn't be able to cheat. Not that any player would do that. Actually, most players wouldn't, because most players are reasonable human beings and they understand that if they read the module they're playing, they're ruining their own gameplay experience. So, and I'm currently writing Escape from the Fae right now, which is the sequel to it. So, Into the Fae takes you from level 1 to 5, and Escape from the Fae takes you from level 5 to 12, I think. That sounds right, or maybe it's 10. I'd have to go look it up. It's not written yet. It's almost half written. It's literally being written this year, and it's being delivered to our patrons. Our $25 plus patrons get Escape from the Fae, the new adventures from Escape from the Fae every single month. And we have new ones are dropping this Thursday, actually. So if you want to become a patron, you can get Escape from the Fae, which is the next one coming out. But anyway, I recommend Escape Into the Fae because I wrote it. I have to recommend it. It's cool. Lord Wise Wolf is waiting for the delicious, pristine hardcovers. Yeah, you want the nice hardcovers. Yeah, if you're on a budget, get the factory second. It's cool. You know, it has the exact same content in it, but you know the better hardcovers are like amazing. Thread-bound binding, thread-bound. You won't find that in a 5th edition D&D book. Thread-bound. I don't do that. Thick covers, a thick spine. Like, what do we have? 128 GSM paper, special coated, so it's like resistant to like, you know, stupid stuff you get your book into. So anyway, they're high quality print jobs. High quality. Oh, Mr. Games, what's up, dude? Mr. Games says, Mr. Game Size says, I have binged your videos the past 3 days. Yay, a video binger. Thanks, dude, I appreciate it. I hope you're learning some useful stuff, man. Azure Phone says, will Into the Fae hardcovers be available as add-ons for the Kickstarter tomorrow? Yes, but I want to be very, very clear about something. This is super, super important. When we offer hardcover add-ons for our Kickstarters, it's mostly for international folks because if you get a hardcover add-on Into the Fae, Lairs Legends 1, or Secret Art of Game Mastery as part of the Lairs Legends 2 Kickstarter that launches tomorrow, if you get one of those add-ons, the hardcover add-ons, they're not going to ship to you until next year when we have Lairs Legends 2 ready to go. So even though we'll physically have the books in our warehouses, we can't ship them to you until next year because we have to send everything together in one box. Otherwise, we're going to have to charge you twice as much for shipping, basically, and you don't want that. So my recommendation to you, and you'd have to wait. So I mean, so it's a much better deal. It's a much better deal for you. And we actually couldn't send you the books early, even if we charged you twice for shipping, because it's logistics and it's project management stuff and it's how BackerKit works. It's a whole bunch of stuff that I don't want to go into because you probably don't care. The bottom line is that if you get add-ons, hardcover add-ons, or any add-ons as part of the Kickstarter, they're going to be fulfilled early next year when the actual Lairs Legends 2 books are done. So if you are in the US, the best way to get any of our products is by going to our store, because we will ship, if we have it in stock, the hardcovers will ship out that week usually and arrive the next week or the week after. We say on our site 2 to 3 weeks. A lot of times it gets there faster, but I can't promise that. But if you are in the US and you want the hardcovers, my recommendation to you is going to be wait until the end of the month or early next month when we have hardcovers in stock. Order them from our store. You will get them right away. You'll get them right away. And then you won't have to wait like a year almost to get your stuff. Now, if you're international, the only way you can get physical stuff from us is through our Kickstarters. And so you kind of have to do it through the Kickstarter tomorrow. That starts tomorrow. There's no other way to do it. So that's just, our hands are tied. Shipping costs are exorbitant around the world. There's nothing we can do about it. It's just absolutely crazy. Will there be a Kickstarter from Escape from the Fae? That is the plan. Eventually, once Escape from the Fae is written, we do, like right now it's just a PDF, which it's okay, but like people and I want a physical book. So once we have it written, yes, Escape from the Fae will be a future Kickstarter that will put it into a physical book for people. And we'll probably add a bunch of cool stuff to it too, which is what we always do when we have Kickstarters. We add more stuff to it. It's just kind of what you do. All right. The Dreams Gone says the $25 tier is super nice. I'm talking about the Patreon tier. As for me, I like PDFs because I can put them on my phone. Yeah, I mean, that's the great thing about PDFs. You put them on your phone or your iPad or whatever you got. Yeah, absolutely. My friend is running Storm King's Thunder in Pathfinder 2nd edition, and it's quite an adventure. Yeah? Storm King's Thunder? Because Storm King's Thunder is a 5th edition module, so they're running in Pathfinder 2. Cool. That's awesome, dude. Oh, Michael Boreal says we need more Barbarian and Gary the Intern. Okay, so like I made a lot of skits as shorts, and if you go to my video page, you have to, there's like little tabs at the top and you can go to my shorts. I make a short every single week, and most of the shorts include my characters, the Barbarian, the Rogue, the Wizard. I haven't had Gary the Intern in any of my shorts. I need to put Gary the Intern in the rotation for my shorts. Oh, that's a really good point. Oh yeah, we'll get Gary back. I'll see if I can remember that. Will all of these Kickstarters always be 5th edition, or will you do options for Pathfinder 2nd edition? Listen, I want to have Pathfinder 2nd edition options. That is my goal, but for this Kickstarter, we just can't do it. When we wrote the thing, we only wrote it for 5th edition. And I'm going to be frank, completely honest with you, the cost and time required to convert from 5th edition to Pathfinder 2 is quite extensive. It's quite a bit of time converting it and getting it all around. And we went back and forth on this. Originally, we were going to have Lairs Legends 2 be for both 5th edition and Pathfinder 2. That was our original plan. And then you have to realize that my team is very small. And so we have to be very careful what things we choose to do and which things we don't do, because we can only do so much. And if we overcommit to what we can do, two things could possibly happen. One, we deliver poor quality on the things we do because we're doing too much. Or we miss deadlines and we don't get you the stuff we promised you. And I hate both of those things. I want you to get high quality stuff, and I want you to get them on time when I promise them to you. Those are my goals, right? And so when we were thinking about doing Lairs Legends 2 for Pathfinder 2, we were like, well, we really want to. It's really cool. And I mean, I want to because I love Pathfinder 2. So it's like, But the reality of running a business is that sometimes you don't get to do what you want to do. You have to do what the business can support and what's actually achievable. And so for this project, we're like, you know, it's just gonna be 5th edition. That's what we can do. However, the next time we do a Kickstarter, I can almost guarantee you that it will be available for Pathfinder 2 as well. But this one we can't. And there's a bunch of reasons, business reasons and stuff. I'm not going to go into it because I'm not. But unfortunately, we can't do it. And it sucks. I know it sucks because I love Pathfinder 2. And yeah, and Paizo is really cool. So I'd love to make something to help support them. But couldn't do it for this project, unfortunately. All right, I'm going to draw the winner to the giveaway, and then we're done. Claus says it's fine. Better like that than the business going bankrupt. And that's what happens. Like, we're going to draw the winner to the giveaway. I'm going to give you about 1 minute to go sign up for the giveaway if you haven't already. Hopefully, we'll have a moderator put a link in the chat to the giveaway. Owen is here. Owen, link to the giveaway in the chat, please. And you can join the giveaway if you haven't. I'm going to draw the winner in a couple seconds here. So go in, pop in, and join it, please. Oh yeah, we were talking about the business going bankrupt. So there literally was. I mean, this is a Kickstarter thing, right? Like this happens with surprising frequency, or at least the horror stories are ample enough that people promise too much during a Kickstarter and then they aren't able to fulfill it, or they literally go bankrupt trying to give backers what they promised. This is a thing that happens. It's a thing that happens. And I've studied Kickstarters. I've looked at some Kickstarters and I'm pretty sure some of them don't make any money. Which, when you spend lots of time making this stuff and then you don't make any money, it's a problem, right? Because we all have bills to pay, right? So it's important to make sure you're not overcommitting, make sure that you're doing what you know you can actually deliver and that you can do it during the time. Like for instance, all of the Kickstarters, we've done 3 Kickstarters now. This will be our 4th Kickstarter, and we have delivered all three of them on time. Into the Fae was delivered, and then we had Lairs Legends 1 was delivered, and then Secret Art of Game Mastery so Secret Art of Game Mastery, all of the digital stuff was fulfilled a long time ago, months, half a year ago. And then the physical books are literally arriving, and many of them have arrived. I saw a message from one backer for Secret Art of Game Mastery. He already got his books, and a lot of people already have their books for Secret Art of Game Mastery. And in the US at least. Now, folks in the UK and Europe and Australia and different parts of the world, it's probably going to be a couple more weeks or so. It's been a while since I checked in with our fulfillment partners, but they're working on it. So, but see, there we go. Grandmaster literally got their books today. There you go. And Kick Your Computer just got the Kickstarter today for the Game Mastery. There you go. So people are already getting it. So my point is that the DM Lair has a reputation for delivering the crap, right? Like you get your goods. And so because we want to maintain that reputation, obviously, and give you the things that you want when you want them, we are careful about not overcommitting to what we're going to do to make sure that you get the things that you want. So anyway, because like, I want you to get your stuff. I want it to be high quality, because I don't want to screw you over. That's really stupid. When you're running a business, screwing your customers over is a very bad idea because they don't come back, and word begins to spread that you suck. Like there's some Kickstarters out there that have like 4 to 5 Kickstarters unfulfilled, completely unfulfilled, and they're still launching new Kickstarters. They're actually doing them on backer kit because Kickstarter starts to give you limits. You can't have too many open with not being fulfilled yet. And so they've begun launching them on backer kit so that they can get around that limitation, and they just keep launching more crowdfunding stuff, and they haven't fulfilled previous stuff. And backers are leaving comments, and they're like, when are we going to get our books? And the project creator is leaving like sob stories about how, these employees quit, and this, that, and the other. And then, I had some personal issues and stuff. And it's like, come on, guys. Come on, man. And then at the same time, they're continuing to launch more crowdfunding projects. At a certain point, you got to wonder, You know, is this all really true? Or are you just running like a big Ponzi on us all? So anyway, there are companies that do that kind of crap, and we don't do that. All right, now I'm going to... Oh, Dungeon of Terra says, unlike 2C Gaming, who are over 2.5 years later on them. Oh, I have a Kickstarter that I backed to get a game, a tabletop game, and it's been over 2 years for sure. It's been over 2 years for sure. I might get it. I get updates from them every so often. I might get it someday. I don't know. But I don't know. It's a tabletop game with a bunch of minis and stuff, and they have to do the game design for the rules, so maybe it takes longer. I don't know, but waiting 2 years to get something, that's kind of crazy for me. All right, we're going to draw the giveaway winner. Let me go in here. And then I'm going to bed. I got a big day tomorrow. Draw the winner. Draw the winner. All right, here we go. Oh, look at that. Oh, Owen. Owen from Scotland. You have won, sir. Owen from Scotland has won the giveaway. I will be sending you an email shortly, and we'll get you hooked up, dude. We'll get you some cool crap, man. Owen's like, sweet. Sweet. Owen's our mod. He's Owen Davies. He's our moderator right here. Yeah, man, you entered the giveaway. And I just randomly draw a winner. I have a program that does it, so yeah, that's the way it works. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I gotta run. We will be live tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Eastern, which is gonna be like earlier Pacific time. 10 a.m. Eastern, pre-Kickstarter launch, hanging out, doing stuff, answering questions and stuff. So if you didn't get your question answered, you can come by tomorrow, hang out with us, and I'll do my best. So thank you, everybody, for hanging out, and I will see you tomorrow. Whee! All right, I'm going to end this shindig.